World T20 champion Sri Lanka taught Sussex something of a lesson as they raced to a 10-wicket win with 65 balls to spare, breaking some T20 records along the way at the Brighton and Hove Jobs.com county ground. Having won their first two NatWest T20 Blast games, the Sharks would have started this one in a confident mood. They began well enough too, with Matt Machin going well with a couple of early boundaries against a new-look Sri Lankan team which no longer has either Kumar Sangakkara or Mahela Jayawardene in this short format. Luke Wells, playing in just his second T20 match, struck the first 6 of the game as he and Machin took the score to 26 off the first 19 balls on a glorious day in Hove, which saw a very good crowd in at the ground. Wells was the first to go, having made a run of ball 11. He was the latest of a whole host of batsmen to be outdone by Lasith Malinga, who needed only 2 balls to have Wells caught off the edge by Tilarakne Dilshan. The pitch looked an absolute belter to bat on, and Michael Yardy would have been pleased to win the toss as he led the side once again, with the Sharks resting a few players after their wonderful exploits on Friday night and at Lord's on Saturday. Yardy and Machin took the total to 60 for 1 at the halfway stage of the innings. Machin had helped them there with a 6 off Ajantha Mendis. The platform had been laid for the rest to have a right go in the remaining 10 overs. As it turned out though, the run rate never really improved. Yardy struggled, making 11 off 25 balls before he middled a sweep off Mendis, only to find Suranga Lakmal on the square leg boundary. Rory Hamilton-Brown came and went quickly, edging Tisara Pereira behind after making only a single, a wicket which left the Sharks on 67 for 3. But Machin was still there, and his second maximum took him to a fine 50, which occupied only 33 deliveries and included 3 4s and 2 6s. He could be very pleased with his efforts, but he now needed to go on if Sussex were going to make a competitive total from their 20 overs. Only 1 boundary was hit off 4 overs, and then Ben Brown swung Malinga out to deep mid-wicket after making 14 out of the 102 for 4 on the board with 20 balls of the innings left. The Sharks didn't make the most of those against this very, very good T20 outfit. Machin tried his hardest and was unlucky that this shot off Pereira found Lakmal instead of the boundary. Machin went for 63, made off 45 balls. Stefan Pilot was then yorked by Lakmal for 7. It was an almost unplayable delivery from the Sri Lankan opener. And Will Beer was the last to go to the penultimate ball, run out by direct hit from distance, as the Sharks ended on 126 for 7, similar to the score they were able to defend at Lord's on the previous day. This Sri Lankan side is not Middlesex, however. They won in a canter after Dilshan and Kitturuan Vitanaja went crazy from the off. 12 runs came off the first over, with the latter hitting the first of his 5 6s off the third ball of the reply. Dilshan didn't hit a single 6, but from the 31 balls he faced in his scintillating knock, he struck an incredible 16 4s. 4 in succession were smashed off Chris Liddle, whose first over cost 19 runs, and then 2 more were scored off John Lewis's first couple of deliveries. After only 3 overs, Dilshan had raced to 27 out of a score of 41 without loss. The shots were as scorching as the weather. If that wasn't an impressive enough start, then the 4th over, delivered by Pilot, went for 22 runs, with Vitanaja thumping 3 6s off 3 successive balls. The 23-year-old twice hit the ball right out of the ground with massive blows, which called for a couple of replacement balls. The neighbouring flats were in danger of some damage, such was the timing of these incredible cricket shots. These 2 batsmen were simply unstoppable. After only 4 overs, they'd taken the score to 63 and were halfway to their target. Then Dilshan hit another 4 boundaries off Lewis's next over, meaning that 80 runs had been hit off the opening 5 overs. Those at the ground could not complain about the entertainment, that was for sure. Dilshan's knock was simply extraordinary. He thumped another 4 4s off an over from Hamilton-Brown to reach a 50 off just 18 balls, 12 of which had gone to the boundary. 96 runs had come off the 6 overs of power play. The 7th over from Liddle deserved the applause it got, as only 4 runs came off it, but then Vitanaja launched into Beer, striking his 5th 6 from the first 19 balls of his innings. There can't be many cases when you hit a 50 off 22 deliveries and it not be the quickest of the innings, but that's what happened to Vitanaja, a man who didn't even play in the World Cup, although he has played a handful of tests for his country. He ended unbeaten on 52 and Dilshan hit the winning runs off the first ball of over number 10 to end on a 31-ball 73. It was the fastest successful chase of a score of 125 plus in the history of T20 cricket. The whole innings, in which 128 runs were scored, lasted only 40 minutes, with none of the Sharks bowlers managing to go for fewer than 10 runs per over. Yes, the Sri Lankans are a very, very good T20 side. Sussex will have learnt some valuable lessons from what was a hammering, and they will hope to use what they have learned when they take on Hampshire at home on Friday night.